Hey everybody, welcome to the May podcast for Tour de Force. I once again have Ryan Elliott, Senior Architect Engineer here at Tour de Force. And last month we talked about true ERP integration in our April podcast. And this month being May, we consider that Epicor month here at Tour de Force. A little reason why: Epicor holds one of their biggest user conferences in the month of May, and Tour de Force currently has roughly 140 customers and over 7,000 users that have an Epicor ERP system. And so I guess the first place I want to start, Ryan, is that seems to be a good chunk of our customer base. So why so many Epicor customers using Tour de Force?
Well, there's a couple different reasons. That's a great question, Ken. We get that a lot. Why do we have so many Epicor customers? And quite frankly, the tier one customers that we have that are Epicor, meaning tier one ERPs that we work with, have a lot of different things that we can integrate to and a lot of different functionalities that we can use within Tour de Force. So those tier one ERPs are typically going to be E10, Prelude, Eclipse, and Prophet 21. Now, Epicor also has some other ERPs that we can integrate to from a one-way perspective: Acclaim, Disk, D2K, Vantage, and even Manage 2000. The benefit to our integration with those is really extending the life of the ERPs that have been sunsetted or really don't have a ton of new features going into them. Now, going back briefly to the tier one ERPs, many of those you see on the list when we talk about quote to order or quote to quote, or the two-way contact sync, or the ability to do a sync of opportunities, or any number of different functionalities that we have that you might consider an advanced integration piece to an ERP. So, the tier one ERPs again are excellent integration points for us. Things that we can do with those and reporting we can do from those, and we can even extend the life of some of the other ERPs that Epicor offers as well.
All right, cool. Well, how about sharing? Because I know you're kind of a jack of all trades here at Tour de Force, but I know there was a time when you did a lot of implementation. So when I think about May and I think about the Insights conference that they host, typically one of the things that come up, and I know I've always got value from the conferences, are the best practices and the sharing, right? So give me an example of somebody that you've worked with, regardless of Epicor product line, and kind of share a best practice or a story about them.
Absolutely. I've got a lot of stories, some good and some not so good. But my first implementation that I ever did years ago was with a Prophet 21 customer in Memphis. And it went well. It was a great customer, and they're still a customer today. And that was my first real experience with understanding what Prophet 21 can and cannot do. But the best story I really have is probably related to a customer we have out in California. They're really the reason that we built the quote to order process with Prophet 21 and the way that we built it. Their call center actually uses Tour de Force for order entry that automatically updates their P21 when they hit a button that says push to ERP. And that system, I was actually a part of that design process, the implementation process, the flow of business process within that. So that's one of those that I'll always remember, because that implementation and that process for P21 for the quote to order for that company was fantastic. They're still a customer today. They still use Tour de Force. Quote Manager is still their primary use of our system. The quote to order process with Prophet 21, the ability to get customer pricing, the ability to quickly convert a quote from Tour de Force to Prophet 21. Those are all things that I remember about that implementation, and quite frankly, I enjoyed in the process of helping build and design that.
Well, cool. So we're going to have a short and sweet podcast because we've all got a bunch of stuff to do. I'll end it like this. If you are an Epicor user and you'd like to get some more information, because the number of customers, certainly we've got case studies, testimonials, even some archived webinars on our site that has customer panels on there, people that are using Epicor today. The P21 Worldwide User Group is actually doing a webinar on June 8th that they are hosting, but it's all about Tour de Force, so we'll be driving that. And if you're not using P21, don't fear, same day. We've got a webinar for every other Epicor user as well. So if you want to check it out, visit the website, see one of our webinars, see what the Epicor's excitement is about with Tour de Force. Thanks. Have a great day.